Road to 100 miles. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. But today's video is going to be about my road to 100 miles. So if you've been following my channel for a while now, you probably know that I try to do one big goal, one crazy adventure every year. And 2025, that year, is going to be to run a 100-mile ultra marathon. Never done anything like it before, except maybe my Ironman. That's kind of close, but I've never ran any kind of long distances. The most I've ever done was a marathon during my Ironman. Nothing any further. So the next big obstacle, 100-mile ultra marathon, and that's what we're gonna get into today. So you may be asking, like, why 100 miles? Why would you want to do that? Like, why don't you start with a marathon or start with a 50-miler or something a little easier, like a Spartan race or something? Well, that would kind of defeat the whole purpose of these challenges I'm trying to do for myself. I'm trying to push myself. I'm trying to exceed the limits that I think I can achieve. Because honestly, I don't think I can do 100 miles, but I'm gonna prove myself wrong. I'm gonna do everything I gotta do to cross that finish line when it comes about. So completing a 100-mile ultra marathon is gonna be one of my biggest and craziest adventures to date. So in today's video, we're gonna talk about everything ultra marathon. We're gonna talk about my training. We're gonna talk about the mental resilience it's gonna take. We're gonna talk about my goals for the race. We're gonna talk about the time commitment that it's gonna take in order to train for this race, and anything and everything else that goes along with this whole journey of me running a 100-mile ultra marathon. So first and foremost, we're gonna start with my training. Now, we all know running 100 miles is not just something you're gonna wake up and do one day. It's something you gotta put the time in, put the work in, and train for, and I'm willing to do that. I've done it before in the past with my Ironman. Now we're gonna do it with the ultra marathon. So for the next 6 months or so, my whole life is going to revolve around running again, and then running some more. My training plan is gonna revolve around 4 things. It's gonna be mileage, strength training, recovery, and of course, nutrition. Nutrition is always the key aspect for any kind of endurance race that you're gonna do. So building up that mileage, that's gonna be step 1. That's the base, that's where you gotta get started. So right now, I'm not technically in my official ultra training block, but right now I'm starting at 20 to 30 miles right now. And then when my official training starts on December 9th, that's when my actual plan starts, I'm gonna be around 30 to 40 miles a week, somewhere in there. It's gonna depend on the week. And that's starting out. But then as I get into my training, that's gonna increase all the way up to a max of 70 to 80 miles per week. So I'm running it a lot. Right now I'm running 5 days a week, and then starting December 9th, I'm gonna be starting to run 6 days a week. So it's gonna be a lot of running. It's gonna take a lot of recovery. I'm gonna have to be very specific about my recovery, and if I need to take a day off, I'm gonna take that day off. I'm not gonna overdo it. I'm gonna be smart about it. I'm doing extra things, like I'm gonna be stretching, doing some mobility work. I'm gonna be taking ice baths after each of my long runs. So I'm doing the little things to help make this process easier, because there's gonna be a lot of impact, a lot of stress on the body, so I gotta be smart about it. My weekend days are gonna be my main running days. Those are gonna be my long, crucial runs. That's really gonna be the bulk of my training. And the way you do this, instead of me doing like a 40 or 50-mile run on the weekend, what you do is you'll stack 2 long runs back to back. So like for example, on a Saturday, I'll go run 20 miles. But then the next day on Sunday, I'll turn around and do another 15 to 20 miles. So my legs will be already tired and pretty sore and dead on Sunday. So that's kind of how you get that effect of training for a 100-mile ultra marathon. You'll never run 40, 50 miles. I'll never do that in my training. Yeah, some people may do that, but I'm not gonna do that. I mean, the most I may run more than 20, but the way you get that really long distance is by stacking on 2 days in a row. So you'll do Saturday and Sunday, back-to-back long runs, and that's how you get that fatigue in your legs, and you learn how to run when your legs are sore, when your legs are hurting. That's kind of how you'll do that, and that's how I'll following a training plan on my phone. Actually, it's an app that I'm using. It's called Motive. So y'all look it up. Y'all stay tuned. I'm gonna be doing a review and I'm gonna do another video during this little Vlogmas series of how I'm using that app to structure my training and how I'm gonna use it for also doing another Ironman in the future. So it's actually a really, really cool app. I really suggest it. If you need a running app, a triathlon app, swimming app, cycling app, if you need any of those, I highly suggest try it out. That's why I used my first Ironman and it worked really well for me. So that's what I'm gonna use for this ultra as well. But y'all stay tuned for that video. Check it out. Whenever I post that video, I'll add it down in the description. So y'all check it out down there if you wanna see that. It's called Emotive. It's on Android and Apple. Y'all check that out. The next crucial part of my training is gonna be strength training. So the mistake I made when I did my Ironman training was I quit doing weight training. Like I was doing it once a week for a long time, and then I finally cut it out. I quit doing it altogether. And with that being said, I lost a ton of muscle, a ton of size, and I just got too small. I didn't like it, and I need to incorporate strength training. So when it comes to this ultra training, I'm not gonna take strength training out. I am gonna tone it way back. So I'm only gonna do, for right now, I'm doing 3 days a week, and I'm doing full body workouts. And that's kind of the route I wanna stay the whole time. I don't wanna do any less than 3. If I have to, I'll just do 2. But at least 2, at max 3. I'm doing 2 or 3. My goal is to do 3. But once I get deeper into my training, once I get in that 70 and 80 mile range, I may have to tone it back and may have to cut some days out then. But for now, we're gonna stick 3 days a week, full body workouts, really focusing on the core, focusing on the legs, kind of driving the glutes to help me run. And things like that, we're gonna be working on specific workouts for the ultra, but I'm also gonna be working the rest of my body out so I can maintain my muscle. So if you know, just recently I did a bodybuilding show, and I don't wanna lose all the gains I made. You know, I wanna hold on to that muscle. I don't wanna get super skinny. I was 20 pounds lighter then. I've already put on 20 pounds. So I'm trying to keep the gains, but also maximize my running as well. I don't wanna be too heavy for running. So I probably will lose a little bit of weight, and that's okay, I understand that. But I'm gonna try to maintain as much muscle as possible going into this race that I can. The next aspect of training for this race is gonna be recovery. Recovery is gonna be key. I already hit on it a little bit already, but the main points of recovery that I'm gonna be focusing on is sleep. First and foremost, sleep is key, it's critical. And this is probably one of the areas that I lack the most because I go to bed kind of late and I wake up at 4 a.m. every morning. So this is the area I'm really gonna have to focus on is my sleep, get quality sleep, get more sleep. So that's gonna be one big focus. And then of course, after long runs, I'm gonna be focused on stretching, foam rolling. I have a little muscle massage gun, so using that for helping recovery. And a new thing that I just got set up is my ice bath. So I just got a cold plunge set up on my back porch that it runs all the time so it stays cold and I can hop in it whenever. I've been hopping in it every morning since I got it. And I'm also gonna start using it after my long runs to help with recovery as well. So that's also another video I'm gonna make during the series is 30 days of cold plunging. Will I keep doing it? What I learned, things like that. So if you're interested in cold plunging, y'all check that video out on my channel too. I'll put a link down there in the description as well. Y'all can check that out if you're interested in cold plunge. So that's gonna be another video, y'all stay tuned for that. But along with those forms of recovery, I'm also just gonna pay attention to my body. Like I'm gonna listen to what my body's telling me. If I'm super sore or if I'm hurting, I'm not gonna hesitate to cut a run short or take an extra recovery day if I need to, taking a day off, do some extra stretching, do some extra foam rolling, maybe even go get a massage if I need to. I'm just gonna try to pay attention to my body, especially when I'm running 6 days a week. There's gonna be a lot of pounding on my knees, my joints. So I'm gonna have to pay special care to my body during this prep, especially because it's so much running and you can really injure yourself if you overdo it. So I'm gonna try not to overdo it the best I can. I know it's not gonna be a lot, but I'm gonna do the best I can. And that's gonna lead us to nutrition. So everybody knows, nutrition is fuel for your body. You have to fuel your body, just like putting the gas in the car. If there's no gas, it ain't gonna go. So yes, you have to eat, and you have to eat enough food. When you're doing so much endurance training, I think people tend to undereat. So it's very, very important that you're eating the right amount of foods, the right amount of carbs. Carbs are gonna be very critical when you're doing this amount of endurance training, and as well as protein. The protein is gonna help with the recovery. Also, it's gonna help maintain that muscle in my body that I'm trying to keep on there. So protein and carbs are gonna be my huge focuses during this prep, as well as electrolytes. Everybody knows in this Alabama heat, it's so humid out here. I'm gonna be sweating out those electrolytes, so I need to replace them. So salt, electrolytes, it's gonna be key during this prep as well. And I'm also gonna be working on my nutrition strategy for race day. So I don't know if you've done any kind of endurance training, but there's a lot of goos, gels, electrolyte powders, certain foods that people eat on these races. So I'm gonna be playing around with that to see what works well for me and what sits well in my stomach, because you don't wanna eat something that's not gonna sit well in your stomach during a race. So I'm gonna have to play around with that. I don't know what my nutrition plan is gonna be just yet. And I may do a video on that later once I figure out exactly what my plan is gonna be for race day. Like how many carbs per hour, how many electrolytes per hour, things like that. So I gotta play around and experiment a little bit more with that before I'm dead set, because it's gonna be a little bit different per person, like depending on your height, your weight, things like that, how much you sweat, it's gonna be a little different. So we're gonna play around with that, dial that in, because that's gonna be key when it comes to race day. That's literally what's gonna be able to get me across that finish line, because if I don't fuel my body, I'm not gonna be able to go. It's not gonna keep working. So nutrition is gonna be very, very critical during this prep. So now let's talk about the mental resilience that it's gonna take to complete running 100 miles in one go. Doing an ultra marathon, especially 100 miles, it's just as much a mental battle as it is a physical battle. I mean, yeah, you have to be physically fit and you have to be trained for it, but there's gonna come a time in that race when you're gonna wanna quit, you're gonna wanna stop, and you gotta mentally push through, you gotta fight through, you got to do whatever it takes to dig down deep, and you gotta get it done, because your body's gonna hurt. Like, your legs are gonna hurt, you're gonna be sore. That's just that's part of the race, but you can push through that as long as you're mentally tough. You can get through that. And I know I can, because I've done it before in the past with Ironman training, as well as doing my bodybuilding show. It took a lot of mental resilience in those. So I think I have what it takes to do that. And it's gonna be a little different. Each race is a little different, but that's part of what I look forward to in training, because every time I do one of these experiments, one of these challenges, I learn something new about myself. I learn another way to push through. I learn another way to get to that next level, because there's gonna be a time when I wanna quit, for sure. I already know it, in training and in the race. And doing it when I don't wanna do it the most, that's the day that I learn and I grow the most, and that's the day that I see the most progress. So I'm looking forward to the mental resilience side of it, trying to push through and get through it, because that's when you get that reward. Like when you cross that finish line, it's so rewarding that's what makes people like me keep doing things like this, because you just get that feeling. If you've never done something like this, then you won't understand, like you won't get it. You have to actually get in there and do it yourself. And then you'll understand. Once you complete a challenge that you didn't think you could do, and you trained for it, you put the time in to do it, and then you actually did it, like, that's the best feeling in the world right there. If you don't believe me, try it for yourself. Pick out a challenge that you don't think you can do, or it scares the crap out of you. Pick it out, do it, sign up for it, go for it. It may not be a race, it may be something different. I don't know, do that. And I promise you it will be rewarding. So I always say there's one key component that allows me to complete these challenges, that allows me to do really anything in my life. And that key component is discipline. It's gonna take discipline for me to complete this, and I know that, I'm aware of that. It's gonna take a lot of time commitment. It's gonna take a lot of days that I don't wanna do it. It's gonna take days of running in terrible weather, raining, cold. Like this morning, I went and did a brick workout. I rode 28 miles on my bike and then got off and immediately did like 2.5 miles running. And it was 38 degrees this morning. So I'm gonna have to do that. That's just part of it. I'm gonna have to be disciplined. It's all about being consistent and being disciplined, doing it the days that you don't wanna do it the most. That's when you gotta be disciplined the most. That's what it's gonna take. You just gotta do it. You gotta suck it up and do it anyways. I don't really know any other way of explaining it. Like, you just gotta get it done. Whatever you have set for training that day, whatever's in your plan on your app or whatever you're following, you do it, period, regardless, like you get it done. I mean, unless of course you're injured or you need to take a day off or something, but other than you being injured, there should be no excuses for you getting it done. If you got work that day, you get up and you go do it before work, or you make sure it gets done after work. You adjust your schedule to fit it in if you really want to get it done, like, period. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, like, you just gotta do it. You're gonna have to make sacrifices. You're gonna have to miss those social events. You're gonna have to say no to staying up late at night. You have to get in bed, get your rest, get your recovery. You're gonna have to run in the horrible weather outside. But hey, that all adds to that reward at the end, and it makes it that much more enjoyable when you do get it done, because you know all the work that you put in. So like, the main reason you feel good at the end is not necessarily because you finished the race or you crossed the finish line. The main reward that you get at the end is knowing that you did everything else leading up to that race. You did everything that you needed to do. You got it done, because that journey is not easy, it's hard. So like, those months that you took training, it all led up to that one event, that one time. And then you get all the reward that's been building up month after month after month. You finally get that reward when you cross the finish line. So that's what makes it all worth it. And it's gonna take discipline to get there. And I promise you, it'll be all worth it. So just stick through, even on those hard days. You got this, I believe in you. So for my goals for the race, there's two goals pretty much for every race. They're broken up into mental goals and physical goals. So obviously, physical goals, I want to finish the race because it's going to be a tough race regardless. So the race specifically I'm doing, you get 30 hours to complete it. But my goal is to do it in 24. So I want to do it in 24 hours. I think that's doable, but that's also pushing it. Like I've never done an ultra marathon, so I don't know what to expect. So they give you 30 hours. Really, that's my main goal, is just to finish in 30 hours. But if I had to put a time to it, it's gonna be 24 hours. That's my goal. Do I think I can do that? Yeah, I think I can do it, but it's gonna be challenging. It's gonna be hard, and I'm gonna have to actually push a little bit to get to that goal. So that's why I did that, to challenge myself a little bit. And I'm putting this goal out here for everybody to see, to hold me accountable. Like, I know sometimes they say don't tell people your goals and just go do it and get it done, and then they'll see the results. But yeah, that may work if that's how you work, but I like to put myself out there so that y'all can hold me accountable. Because I know if I put this out there publicly and then I don't go do that, I don't do what I say I'm gonna do, I don't like that. Like, I feel bad when I do that. So I put it out there to challenge myself. Like, I'm putting this out here so y'all can hold me accountable and y'all can follow along on my journey. So y'all go ahead, give me some words of wisdom, some motivation down there in the comments. I'm gonna need it throughout the journey, and y'all follow along to see how I'm doing, because I'm gonna try to document this journey the best I can. I documented my bodybuilding show and a little bit of my Ironman training. So if you do wanna see those, go check those back out on my YouTube channel. And if you wanna follow along with this journey, subscribe. I appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button, like the video, because I got more ultra training videos coming. But yeah, that's my physical goal, is just don't get injured, finish in 24 hours, enjoy the journey, like enjoy the process. I'm gonna have a crew with me. So some of my family's gonna come, maybe a friend of mine, Dustin's gonna come, we'll see. I'm gonna need pacers. So it's really a team event. Like, it's not just a personal, not just me racing. Me and my whole crew is gonna be racing. So I'm really looking forward to enjoying that process with them, enjoying the journey, because they're gonna have to help me out just as much as I'm gonna have to help them out throughout the race. It's gonna be a fun time, a fun experience, and I'm really looking forward to it. And having your people there to support you, people in your corner, that makes that experience so much more enjoyable, and so much, it means so much more when they can do it with you, because they feel like they're a part of the race too. Like they almost feel like they won just because they helped me win. You know, we're all in it together. It's a team thing. So I really enjoy it when my family and friends get to come with me. I really look forward to that. So yeah, that's kind of like the physical goals. When it comes to mental goals, just don't quit. Like, don't quit. It's gonna be a time where I'm gonna say, screw this. Like, why am I doing this? I have no reason to do this. And I'm gonna wanna quit, and I gotta push through. I gotta have that mental resilience. So that's kind of my main mental goal. Also, just the mental toughness that I will build over this training block, like over this long period of running 5 to 6 days a week. I want to push past those limits that I have in my head, because everybody has limits. They think, oh, I can only do this, or I can only do that, or I can never do that, or I can never do this. I want to be able to push past those limits mentally, because I know I'm capable of it. I just got to actually do it myself to prove to myself that I can do it. So I want to push past those barriers. I want to prove to myself that I'm more capable of what I think I'm capable of doing. Every time I do one of these events, I prove that to myself more and more in different ways, different styles. I learn more about myself. And even if I didn't finish the race, say I don't finish the race, I'm still gonna be like proud of myself, because I know I did everything I could to lead up to that, and I put my best effort in. And you're gonna learn stuff throughout the journey. Like, that's just part of it. So finish the race or not, it's still gonna be a learning experience. But if I don't finish it, I will finish one. Like, if I don't finish this 100 miles, I'm saying right now, I will do it again, or do another race, and I will finish it. Like, I have to complete the race for me to check it off my bucket list. So I'm working on my bucket list, but we're not even gonna talk about that. We're gonna complete this one. We're gonna do it, I promise. Hear my word now. We're gonna complete the 100 miles. I don't care if I have to crawl across that finish line. I'm getting it done. I promise y'all. There's only 2 ways that I'm coming off that course, and it's across the finish line or in an ambulance. It's the only way I'm coming off that course, and that's a promise to y'all. Throughout this experience, I hope that I can inspire others to challenge themselves, to do something that they don't necessarily think they can do, or do something that they've always wanted to do and they just never had the courage to step out and do it. That's part of the reasoning behind me wanting to document my journey, because I'm just a normal dude. Like, I'm not special in no way. I'm just like you. I'm really just an average dude that likes to push himself, likes to challenge himself, and do cool things. So that's kind of my idea behind documenting this. Also, I want to document it for me personally. Like, I want to have documentation of it so I can go back and watch it in the future, so I can inspire myself in the future when I'm being lazy and I want to quit something. I can go back and watch this, but also I want to help others kind of encourage themselves, like help others see that, hey, if this Joe Smo can do it on YouTube, then I can do it too. That's part of my idea behind it. I want to help as many people. I also want to like teach people what I'm doing so they can see what they need to do if they wanted to have the same goal. Like if they want to do a 100-mile ultra marathon, they can watch my training, see how I did it. They can take the pros and cons from my training and implement it into theirs. So they can see what I did right and they can see what I did wrong. That way they know how to better go about it for themselves. But yeah, I just want to inspire others along the way, because I think people out there are way more capable of what they think they are. Like, I believe in people so much more than most people believe in themselves, and that really like bothers me. I think people can do way more, they just don't see it, or they may see it, they just have that little voice in their head telling them not to do it. Like, they don't commit to something, or it gets hard and it gets tough and they quit. Like, I don't like that. Like, that bothers me. So I'm gonna do everything I can to help y'all out, to hopefully inspire y'all, to show y'all that a normal dude like me can do it. So that means you can do it too. Like, I believe in y'all. If I can do it, I promise you, you can do it. We're the same. Like, we're not different. The only thing different between me and you right now is I have a little discipline that got me through. But guess what? You can create that discipline too. Like, you can literally build it just like I did and do the things that you've always wanted to do, or do the thing that you may be absolutely scared to death of doing, but you want to challenge yourself. That's kind of what I'm doing. Like, honestly, it scares me to run this race. I think I'm gonna get hurt and I can't finish it, but hey, that's what's gonna push me to train even harder, to train longer, to push myself a little bit, so that way I can complete it. And I know if I stay disciplined throughout this journey that I'm gonna cross that finish line, and that's the whole goal. So thank y'all for tuning in to this journey. This is video 1 of the ultra marathon journey. If you wanna follow along my journey, please do. I'm gonna have more videos coming. I also have videos of what I've done in the past, so you can check that out and see kind of how I've accomplished those goals that I had then. I'm calling you out right now. If you have a big goal that you wanna do, or you've been wanting to do, or you wanna challenge yourself somehow, put it down in the comments right now so that we can all hold each other accountable. We wanna be accountability partners here. We wanna push each other, strive each other, create that positive community, positive place for everyone to go after their goals, to achieve their goals. So drop it down. I wanna hear, what are y'all's goals? Are you just starting to run? Do you wanna run a 5K? Do you wanna do a half marathon, even a marathon? Hey, if you're going big, you wanna do an ultra marathon too? I wanna know. Y'all let me know what's your goal down there. Triathlon, whatever that may be, whatever your goal is, drop it down there, because this is a community here for everybody to work on themselves, work on their goals. So y'all let me know what y'all goals are for the rest of 2024 or even 2025. I wanna hear it. So don't forget, like this video, subscribe down there, and share this with somebody that needs a little inspiration in their life. Share this video, I would really appreciate it. Get them to join your journey with you, and y'all tackle that together, because having an accountability buddy can help you a lot. We'll see y'all in the next video. Peace, love, protein, we out.